BBC News with Chris Barrow. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, has dropped out of the race for nomination as the Republican candidate in the US presidential elections and has endorsed the frontrunner, the former President Donald Trump. His withdrawal leaves Mr. Trump and the former UN ambassador Nikki Haley as the only two contenders. People across Germany have turned out in high numbers on a further day of protests against increasing right-wing extremism. The organisers say more than 1 million people took part in demonstrations over the weekend. The protests were triggered by reports of a secret meeting where far-right activists discussed plans to deport millions of people with migrant backgrounds. In neighbouring France, more than 75,000 people marched against President Macron's immigration bill, calling it a victory for the far right. A giant fuel export terminal on Russia's Baltic Sea coast has been forced to suspend operations after a Ukrainian drone attack. A shopping district in the Russian-occupied city of Donetsk has also been hit by shelling. Hamas has described as necessary its attacks in October when it killed 1,200 Israelis. It acknowledged there had been some mistakes, but blamed these on the collapse of the Israeli security system. Officials in Ecuador and Colombia say their armies intercepted 2 drug smuggling vessels carrying a large amount of cocaine in Pacific waters. Nigeria's Lagos state says it will immediately start implementing a ban on styrofoam and other single-use plastics, citing their contribution to the major pollution problem. A small group of Russian communists have gathered in Moscow's Red Square to mark the centenary of the death of Vladimir Lenin. And South Korea says exports of kimchi rose to a record high in 2023. The fermented cabbage dish is a Korean staple. There's been a global rise in the popularity of Korean culture. BBC News.